Alex had always been a night owl, preferring the solitude of the graveyard shift at the local convenience store to the chaos of the day shift. He enjoyed the quiet, the absence of customers, and the freedom to indulge in his hobbies, like reading horror novels and playing video games. One night, however, everything changed. Alex was working alone when a group of teenagers entered the store. They were loud, rowdy, and clearly intoxicated. Alex tried to ignore them, but they began vandalizing the store, knocking over displays and throwing items around. Alex knew he had to call the police, but as he reached for the phone, he heard a chilling voice behind him. Alex turned around to see a tall, shadowy figure standing in front of him. He couldn't make out any details, but the figure seemed to be wearing a hooded cloak, and its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. Alex tried to run, but the figure moved faster than he could react. It grabbed him by the neck and lifted him off the ground, choking him with an otherworldly strength. As Alex struggled to breathe, he realized that he was no longer in the convenience store. He was in a dark, misty place, surrounded by the echoing screams of countless tormented souls. The figure spoke, its voice echoing through the darkness. Alex tried to resist, but he could feel his consciousness slipping away. He felt a cold, numbing sensation spreading through his body, as if he were being drained of life. Suddenly, he was back in the convenience store, lying on the floor. The figure was gone, and the teenagers had fled. Alex tried to get up, but he couldn't move. He felt weak, helpless, and terrified. He knew that he was dying, that his soul was being pulled away by the figure in the hooded cloak. He tried to cry out, to call for help, but his voice was too weak. As he lay there, gasping for air, he realized that he was never going to see his family again, never going to feel the warmth of the sun on his face, never going to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. He closed his eyes, and the darkness swallowed him. The police found Alex's body the next morning, lying on the floor of the convenience store. He had no visible injuries, but his face was frozen in an expression of terror. The autopsy report revealed that he had died of cardiac arrest, brought on by extreme stress and fear. The cause of the stress, however, remained a mystery. The teenagers who had vandalized the store were eventually caught and prosecuted, but they claimed to know nothing about the hooded figure that Alex had described. Some people in the community whispered that Alex had been possessed by a demon, or that he had stumbled upon a cursed object in the store. Others speculated that he had simply gone insane, and that his mind had conjured up the figure in the hooded cloak as a coping mechanism. But those who knew Alex, who had worked with him on the night shift, knew the truth. They knew that something evil had entered the store that night, something that had taken Alex's life and left behind only darkness and despair. And they knew that they would never forget the horror of that night, the night when the darkness had claimed one of their own.